Welcome to my daily review. Today is Wednesday, September 17th. You're looking at a daily chart of the Nasdaq, which is melting up. And today it had a little blip here. You can see a little blip. It undercut the five and then closed below it. I really expected it to be a lot more volatile. We got our quarter point or 25 basis point interest rate cut today. Which was expected, and the market likes a dovish Fed. So, yeah, it sold off 72 points or 0.33% with 10% above average volume. So, as boring and slow as yesterday was, today was kind of the opposite, where there's quite a bit of action. So, and I've got a lot of stuff to get to today, and I hope I can get to all of it within an hour. But the NASDAQ, let's take a look at a 5-minute chart here because you can see, when did Jerome Powell speak and talk about a quarter point interest rate cut? I'd say probably about right here, 2 o'clock. And that 5-minute bar there. Let me see, I can go to a 1 minute here. We can see whoop right here. And so there you go. 1400 hours, military hours, 2 o'clock Eastern, 11 a.m. West Pacific Standard. There's a sell-off, a little bump, more of a sell-off. Oh my gosh, the sky's falling. And then, that it rebounded and it really was not that much damage here. 72 points, I said. And it's a tick above the five, 2.1 above the 21, and 4.3% above the 50. So no harm, no foul. I was hoping actually for a little more volatility and hope that it would pull back more, but yeah, I don't think it's going to. And any kind of dip is being bought here in this market, especially of those, leading AI stocks, the data centers, the energy plays. You know the ones that are leading. I mean, it's pretty obvious. Just look at the top of my page every morning, and it'll show you the stocks that are, performing really well. And I'll get to those in a minute. Some of them. I wanted to, I'm not going to do the whole Mag 7 thing today. I'll just point out that the IWM was up a lot, kind of a quarter percent. That's better than going down, right? But let's take a look at the volatility here. So this is it was doing nice, and then then Powell spoke, it sold off, but ended up higher for the session. So this is an index that was higher, and the S&P, I believe, was a little bit lower with the Nasdaq. Yeah, no great shake, 6 points. And then the Dow, I believe, was up a little bit. I don't really care about the Dow, but okay, it was up 250 points or 0.5%. So the Dow and the IWM went up, and the S&P and the Nasdaq went down. But it wasn't really that volatile, and you could see the trend is just still intact on all of these indexes here. The IWM has broken out and it's trending higher. Ugh, man, that looks good. So all the indexes look good. So there's not a lot to, I shouldn't say that. You always want to protect capital. And I should never say there's nothing to worry about because the market climbs a wall of worry. But you could see obviously that dips are being bought. So when your stock or leading stock dips, you buy it. And I'm going to go through a bunch of them, but I was watching today the housing market, the financials, some of the rate sensitive stocks, and I'm gonna get to those right now because DR Horton is one that I was watching, and it was up on the session, and then yeah, Powell announces a rate cut and it goes down. So there's your sell the news, right? It's like, oh, shorts are covering. I don't want any part of this. And as soon as it's announced, you get to sell the news of profit takers. I think DR Horton's fine. In fact, if you wanted to buy this thing around the 21, I think that looks pretty good there. The standard buy point's 171, so it's just a tick below it. I might actually put that one on the old ready list. Uh, PHM, which is Pulte, kind of a similar reaction, but this one actually ended up positive. 23 cents, and DH was down a little bit, and no big deal either way. No harm, no foul. They both look fine to me. A couple other ones that I was looking at, JLL is a real estate stock a developer. They rely on lower rates, and this one was up nearly 2%. So that one looks pretty good, especially on the weekly, just breaking out here. Had what I don't know about 8 weeks in a row. So there's a very strong stock. Jones, Lang, LaSalle, JLL. And the last one is Open Door. Obviously, this one's been in the news a lot lately. A lot of shorts here. This thing's going higher. I mean, very impressive today that, I talked about this in the mornings. You want to see this thing bounce off the five. And as long as that pattern continues, you can stick with this stock. And that's what it did today. The patterns change though. There's no guarantee that's not going to, do it the next time. It might fall right through. But for now, I mean, shorts are covering. There's a lot of good news. A new CEO, which is the in Can Slim. So I think they're very aggressive, very smart management team that's going, and they know there's a lot of shorts in their stock. So they're going to do what they can to get that stock pumped up. The CEO doesn't get paid until it's $33. So, there's no guarantees in the market, but as long as that thing's finding support at the five today was, what, 915? Yeah, dropped down to 877. So pulled back to the five, found support. And I would say that's a nice bounce, up 15%. Thank you very much. So if you ever ask what constitutes a bounce, well, that does, right? Come down to a moving average and bounce 15%. Yeah, we'll take that. All right. Enough of the homes. Of course, the financials are another area that's rate sensitive, and there's just a lot of them, a lot of these financial names. I certainly can't get to them all, but this is Alley Financial, and just a great looking chart here. Here's really your cup with handle. This handle right here will pull back 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks, undercut the 50. Now it's just rallied hard the last like 8 weeks. That looks really good. But I'm not going to put it on my radar list tomorrow, I don't think. I might. It's a candidate. How about that? Uh, Bank of America, another one just breaking out here, and that looks good. Someone was talking about Goldman Sachs and JP Morgan. They're like they're like Nvidia now, just making new highs. Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, yeah, these yeah. The chart says it all. I don't need to say anything. I mean, these things are super strong, right? COF is one that I like because of the base, just consolidating within a base today, up 0.5%. No great shakes, but it's not breaking out, but it's not doing anything wrong. It's doing exactly what you'd expect it to do. That's Capital One, what's in your wallet, and then Lending Tree, another strong one. Whenever I think of Lending Tree, I think of SoFi for some reason, because they were kind of trading together. But SoFi was down today 1% in Tree, so yeah, I'd say Tree is your stronger name here. Maybe if I could spell Tree, it'd be fantastic. Um, this is why I don't go by the relative strength rating. It's got a relative strength of 95. 9.9% above the 21. And SoFi has a higher relative strength rating, but it's not nearly as strong as a tree. So it's over time. I think their RS rating is maybe 6 months or 9 months. So it's not, immediate. And we're as swing traders, we're more immediate. All right, that's enough for the nope, I lied. I have one more. Robinhood is one that I like as well. And this one really was just like a seismograph, like an earthquake in the middle of the day here. I think I could pick that up on a 1 minute chart. This is when Powell, at 1400 hours here, 2 o'clock Eastern, it just went, I think it went down to like 112 or something. What was the low here? 114. Yeah, it went from 118, 119 to 114 in a jiffy, in a split second. This is why I don't sit in front of the computers and watch my stocks all day, because if I saw that, I'd probably, I got to get rid of it. It's going to zero. So yeah, I keep myself busy. I check in on the markets, but I don't sit at my computer and watch them, because I know that makes you more impulsive. And I don't want to be impulsive. I think Robinhood's a big winner. I'm being patient. How can I say? I'm being patient. And my buddy again, he called me today, is saying like it's breaking out, it's breaking out. It's not breaking out. It's not. Like I said, what's the high here? Let's just see if it closes above 120, and I'll be more inclined. The higher though is 123.44. But it's surfing the five now. It looks much better than it was consolidating here in this space. Yeah, it's going higher, and I believe he's right. It is going to go much higher, and it's not out of the woods yet. But man, that move today was just pretty crazy. Yeah, what did I say? 119 to 114. Yeah, 5% move in a very, very short period of time, like instantaneous for Robinhood. So maybe they're getting the sellers out of the way. All right, that's enough for Robinhood. And that I have to go to the China stocks because they are in fuego. This is Baba up another 1.5% today. What was the other one? Baidu was very strong. Wow, yeah, wow, 11%. Yeah, I'd say pretty strong. They had news, and then PDD, yeah, breaking out here. Pinduoduo, the PDD Holdings. Now I'm glad they switched it to PDD because I couldn't say the other name. And then ATAT, which is like a leisure services, a hotel, lodging type of stock, just surfing the five like Kelly Slater already broke out, making new highs. So yeah, the China stock's looking muy bien. All right, I'm going to go to an area where I do not recommend, but I'm just acknowledging there is some strength here, and that's the retail space. It's been absolutely brutal. They're being sold off like crazy. Casey made a new high today, so I'm making a case for Casey's. And then Monster Beverage, man, this thing, it looks like it belongs on our ready list, doesn't it? Just a base on base pattern. Let's take a look at this on the weekly. It's just retail's been so weak. I get kind of biased, when I see all this selling in the retail space, and the retail numbers are not that great. But people are drinking Monster, I guess. And you just look at the charts, buyers and sellers, supply and demand. Um, yeah, that looks good to me. I'm sorry, that looks good. Same with cocoa water, Vita Coco, whatever. Nice breakout today. So this makes me more, how shall I say? I don't have conviction in Monster, but it gives me a little more confidence in the beverage space when I see stuff like this. That's a nice move. And also Celsius. Another one made a big move up to 623, now pulled back. But I mean, some of the retail restaurant names are just absolutely, since I'm on this, Deckers has been slaughtered. Lulu, I mean, just absolutely taken to the woodshed. Remember Kava, the big darling Kava? This thing has gone from 163 to 62. No, thank you. Sweet Greens was a darling. Oh my God, these things are just getting crushed. Crocs, same thing. They're just near lows, just can't get off the ground. Retail is just very, very tough. And the restaurants, I think, probably the toughest right now. Anyway, I digress because I didn't really want to go there. I want to go to the energy space. And there's definitely a divergence here where Wall Street, investors, institutions, they want to own Bloom Energy. I've had discussions with some folks that think that this is a buyout candidate, and it might be. I mean, this is a very I shouldn't say a strange move. It's a breakout and a move higher. This thing's a double. Now it's up over $80 today. Yeah. And they want that one as opposed to GEV, which is still consolidating in a base. I think it traded below its 50 today. Yes, it did. Closed just a tick above it. And Oklo, which had a big day on Monday, and then just had a quiet day yesterday and just a quiet day today. So that's looking really good too. So yeah, the energy space is hit and miss. There's winners and losers, and yeah. All right, I wanted to get to. I'm going to mix in some other stuff here with the energy data center software. I'm just going to throw them all together today. This is NBIS. I talked about this in our morning program, the post parade show, where it ran up and then pulled back, made that flag pattern, which coincided with its 5 EMA. And today it bounced nicely, more than 5%, which we'll take 5% in a day. It sold off, did the Jerome Powell, shake and bake, and then buyers came in at the end of the day, which is what you want to see. That's what really matters. At the end of the day, are people buying the stock and supporting it, or are they selling off? This one's in demand. What else did I have here in this group? Come on, Marty, get with the program. App 11, this one did the same thing. And this is my largest hold. Once again, this is why I don't watch the stock. I think App 11's going higher, so I don't care about the wiggles and jiggles throughout the day. I don't really care because I think it's going higher. Same with IREN. This is a holding of mine. I think it's going much, much higher. And I didn't watch. I know it was down at the open because I looked before the open and glanced at it during the day, and it was down all day. And then what happens after Powell spoke? More shake and bake here. This one went down pretty far. Yikes, 34, and then ran up in a jiffy to 38 and a half. So yeah, that's why if you're going to sit there at the screen looking at it all day, you're going to be much more impulsive. I'm just telling you, I've been there, done that. Even if I do it now, like if I sit in front of the computer, you're more inclined to buy and sell and overtrade. And I think you just got to say, this stock's in an uptrend. I think it's worth more. And as long as it's finding support at that five, then I want to own it. Just like Open Door and a lot of these stocks that I'm showing you, NBIS, I just showed you, those are going higher. They're in uptrends. And until that trend changes, there's nothing to do. I mean, don't mess around with your money. I get it. If you want to protect profits ahead of a, volatile session, like lowering interest rates, I get it. But longer term, this is going higher, and you're probably going to have to buy the stock back at higher prices. And I'm going to get off my soapbox now. I'm going to go through a bunch of them here. I'm just going to rip through a bunch of stocks. Palantir, this one was looking good off the 50 and now not so much. Came back to the 50 today, which was what? 161. It kissed it beautifully. Look, the 50 was 161.55 and the low was 161.27 and then closed near the high of the session. So that's a nice bounce for Palantir. And yeah, I'm just going to go through a bunch of these right now. The hardware names, the software names, just the data center plays. This is Lam Research, semiconductor equipment stock, just doing the Kelly Slater thing. There's nothing to do with these stocks. I mean, hold them or add to them when they dip. This is obviously buy the dip. Every time it comes down, it's being bought, folks. ALAB, yeah, it's a simple hold. Or, buy, add to it. These ones, SNDK, I don't know what to tell you about these. My friend was saying he wants to short them. I'm saying you don't look at the strongest stocks in the market and try to short them. You short the weaklings. I just showed you a ton of them. If I'm going to short something, I'm going to short something like Crocs. This thing's so damn weak. Short it off the moving averages or Lululemon. These things are so damn weak. Yeah, you don't want to short something like this. You get your face ripped off. I don't care if it's extended. Yeah, of course it's extended. It's 37% above its 21. I don't care. It's probably going higher and it's not in a position to short at all. STX, these are all the same. They're just going nuts. That one's, flagging a little bit. WDC, yeah, flagging a little bit, but man, these things are so strong. In fact, that might be a dip to buy. They're off to five. WGC, they're super strong. Dell, had to pick out Dell today. Hardware named. It's just consolidating in a base, and it rallied through its 50 today. So it definitely has my attention. I want to see that five rally through the 50 as well. So Dell, I'm watching you. But one that I haven't talked about in a long time, and a couple people you mentioned it to me today because it was up a lot with heavy volume. It was up to 2148. This is Gorilla. And yeah, I mean, that's a move not to be ignored. Look at the volume here. So maybe once you get out of that stage one base here and start making a move higher, it's been a while. Since March? Yeah, so that's long enough of a base for Gorilla. A couple other ones. AMSC is another hardware name that excuse me, it's a yeah, power equipment hardware 5842. I forget what our buy point was. I had this on the ready list this week and it's definitely up a lot this week. Yeah, 7.5 points. So it's breaking out of this consolidation pattern. One that really surprised me today was CLS. This one sold off hard, but it's still, flagging here in this like starting to look almost like a flat base type of pattern, but it doesn't have enough time. Just this little wedge here. You pull back to the five and it ran up Monday and Tuesday, but today got whacked. And if you look at the 5-minute chart, it'll show you like, whoa, where are we going here? This is why I say don't look at it. It'll give you a heart attack. But at the end of the day, I mean, it was down 2.5%. That's not the end of the world. But want to see that thing bounce here off the five. I got just a bunch of them here. Hang with me. Cipher mining, this one just wants higher prices. This one's like Irene. I call it Irene because my mom's name was Irene, but yeah, IREN, very similar action here, just priced differently, but definitely has the sales growth, and I like REN better, but you cannot deny. And I just throw these three together: Wolf, Cipher, and IREN. all trading above the five. And you know that let the five be your guide, right? When it pulls back to the five, you can buy. When it rips up like this, you can sell some. That's called trading around a core. Nothing wrong with that. Galaxy, uh, yeah, wow, what a breakout here. I missed this one. That should have been on my ready list. That's okay. You know, you can't kiss all the babies and you know you don't want to chase. Yeah, I missed this one. Sorry. Mm. Because I like that stock a lot. And when you see that one up, probably going to see these ones up. I didn't check on this one. This one's looking a lot better too. BMNR. And when I think of that one, I think of this one. Yeah, okay. That one looks like it needs a little oh, I shouldn't say it. It's just basing. How about that? TSEM defibrillator. Um, all right, TSEM, nice move higher. AEHR, another one that yeah, this one looks good to me on the five here. Every time it bounces back on the five, you know, excuse me, every time it pulls back to the five, it finds support bounces, five bounce, five bounce, five bounce. And today it pulled back to the five again. So it's just riding the five to higher prices. If you look at it on the weekly, you can see the breakout here. This is like a cup with the handle, and this, so it's been like 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks now for AEHR. I think that's all of them on the hardware names that I wanted to get to. I did homes, I did China, I did retail, I did energy. Oh, our construction names doing pretty darn well. This is MTZ still consolidating in a base, just cannot break out. Let's see what this looks like on the 5 minute here today. Yeah, a little bit of shake and bake on the PAL, not bad. Um, What was the high today? 198. So it looks like maybe that 200 is going to cause it a little bit of problems. We'll have to see. I'm going to stick with this one though. I like that chart. And I like the group. If you look at, you know, like road partners, construction partners, I should say, this one looks super strong. And then of course TPC, you know, another strong stock just surfing the five there. Like Kelly Slater, we got a lot of those. All right, I'm going to move on to the quantum computing stocks. This is IONQ. This one broke out today. It had kind of a wild day. It was up and then, you know, shook out with the Powell news and then, you know, raced higher into the close. Just breaking out here at that 49 level. They bought a company today, so I figured they would be up. Now it looks like it's what, $68 after hours. Hmm. Nice move. When I think of that one, I got to think of Rigatoni of the Rigetti group. Told you the story about Rigetti struck me out like 10 times in a row, and then I had a home run off him. So that's why this company reminds me of Dave Rigetti and his brother Steve. Let me see. D-Wave Quantum breakout here, 99 RS rating, super strong stock, 18% move. Thank you very much. We'll take that. That is a nice breakout. Undercut the 50, rallied. Oh boy. Volume today coming in. That's what you call power through the pivot, baby. You got to love that. Forget 1977 or 2058. Yeah, just say 21 bucks above 21. This thing's gold. So maybe it'll pull back tomorrow a little bit as we saw some big moves today. And so you look for the pullbacks. ROIV, got to go to my biotechs. You can't go a day without drugs. And this one, nice move today with volume. It did close near the lows of the session, which you don't like, but still, I think you'll take an 8% move. KALA made a new high, then reversed lower. So these are kind of rate sensitive stocks. Yeah, that one made a new high and then sold off in the close, which you don't really want to see. MNPR, you know, this one keeps going up. It's just too thin for me. This is looking like the breakout from IONQ, just wants higher prices. It's just so thinly traded though. Today's volume was the highest volume in a while and it was 128,000. So, but you know, you can't deny the price action and only price pays. So that one looks pretty good to me. Other biotech names, Nectar, this one's been super strong. Yeah, I like that one. And of course, yeah, just breaking higher. And TGTX is still one to watch. One of the fundamental stocks that I own that's just not moving. You know, the fundamentals are great. The story hasn't changed. Wall Street just doesn't like it. Hasn't warmed up to it yet. It's got to prove itself. So it rallied above the 50 today, then closed below it. So what you want to see here, if you're along TGTX, you want to see that five rally through the 50. You want to see the price rally through the 50 because it looks like it's hitting up against the 50 and being shorted, right? That's a short. Every time it hits the 50, it can't get through. So it needs to rally through the 50 and then it's got to get through the 200. So TGTX has a lot of work to do. Let me see. I think that's it for thank you for watching at mcstockcharts.com. We never give up, except for I have a couple more things. You know, I can't go a day without honoring the great Steve Jobs. One more thing is gold stocks. I haven't talked about gold. You'd think with lower rates, the gold would do well, quite a few of these stocks did well today. This is DRD up again, man. This thing's just surfing the five. But what's interesting is the exchange traded fund was down, half, 3/4%. No big deal, but kind of strange, because a lot of the leading stocks were up sharply. This is Barrick Mining changes ticker symbol to B, pull back to the five and ripped higher today. Very nice move. And then AEM, another strong gold stock. So I think with rates coming down, the dollar's weaker, and I don't want to get into economics. Our job is not to, decipher, macroeconomics or what the Fed funds rate should be. Our job is to make money in stocks, and that's why every day I just try to show you strong stocks. And sorry for showing you those retail stocks that are getting crushed today because that's too negative. That hurts my brain. I hate to see that. And speaking of retail stocks getting hammered, Cracker Barrel, retail restaurants is just a brutal business right now. You can see 71 down to 49. Today they report, now it's down another 10% after hours. It's just, it's a rough market, folks. We're going to stay away from the retail restaurant group for a while. Even my Dutch Bros, story hasn't changed. Once again, story hasn't changed. Fundamentals are great, in a downtrend, throwing the baby thrown out with the bathwater. You could think of all the phrases you want. But Peter Lynch, if you follow him, he talks about holding fundamentally sound story stocks. As long as the story doesn't change, you got to be patient and give it time. If the story changes, that's a different story. Then you sell the stock. But to me, this has just got great fundamentals, opening stores. It's just the whole group's getting slaughtered. So Dutch Bros is in timeout here, probably until next report. Had a good report. It ran up, looked like it was going to show some strength within the base, and then it's just fallen out recently. So you just got to stay away from this stuff and gravitate towards the winners, which I'm going to post in the morning. Look at the top of the page, some of those stocks that are, just killing it like ALAB. You know, uh, I don't want to go through all of them, VSAT. I will one of these days go through these stocks. They're just surfing their fives with a high RSS rating, 3-month RS rating, and with a lot of volume. And anyway, that's it for me. Thank you for watching at mcstockcharts.com. We never give up.